Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 12 to What If Frieza Turned Good. Before we get into today's episode, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse, and further acknowledge and support the future of the Omniverse by checking out the Discord, Patreon, and both Google Docs on the homepage, as well as commenting down below future requests and what if ideas. Now, let's get started. We ended last time with Beerus awakening. And this time, Frieza isn't dead, so Whisa's iteration of what has happened is very different with Beerus. Although in all my other what ifs, that's kind of pretty much always the case. But this is the first real one that Frieza has been not killed. And that's why it would be much more dramatically changed. Especially when he tells Beerus that not only is the Saiyan who spared him on North Kai's world, but Frieza's there too, along with a number and handful of Saiyans on planet Earth. Beerus, he couldn't be more overjoyed and surprised, because now not only will he get to destroy Frieza, but he'll get the Super Saiyan God at the same time. And he tells Whis to plot a course for North Kai's world. And so, they go on their way. King Kai, immediately upon learning of this, along with, Shin and Kibito and everything, immediately he immediately warns Goku and Frieza, mainly Goku, to not anger, disturb, insult, fight, or do any of that with Beerus, or they risk incurring his wrath. And he points to Frieza and says that you know more than anyone what Lord Beerus is capable of. And you've got to make sure that not only you don't do anything to make him angry, but that Goku doesn't. And Frieza remembers back to the day when he was told by Beerus to destroy the Saiyans. And that in turn made us all Super Saiyan and the story we know to be a thing. And if he revealed it to everyone, it would ruin everything that he's built. And if Beerus reveals it, that's Beerus's decision. Him not revealing it could, make things infinitely worse if it didn't slip out already before then. But that all being said, he knows more than anyone what angering the destroyer Beerus could mean for the universe. No matter if he and everyone else in the Saiyans have grown infinitely stronger than anything they could imagine, Beerus's level, Frieza knows that there's probably no limit to how fearsome that cat is. And soon enough, Beerus and Whis arrive on King Kai's world. And Frieza, he cannot believe it. Beerus is actually awake? And they're here? And Beerus just smiles at Frieza and says that you might have destroyed planet Vegeta as I asked, which he would reveal. I definitely think he would, considering the format and planning and just, Frieza being alive here, all links to Beerus revealing this, not knowing that Goku is here on the planet too. But he says that you might have done that for me. But that offer is now repented by teaming with the Saiyans, and even sparring with one on the planet of Akai. That is dishonor to what I specifically told you to do. But, luckily, I need a Super Saiyan God to be my ultimate rival. So the Saiyans are in luck. You, on the other hand, he prepares a full power Hakai, but it looks so small you wouldn't think that it's a huge one. But it's meant to not only vaporize Frieza, it's meant to disintegrate any trace of the area in front, around, or anywhere near Frieza. So, because he already destroyed North Kai's world once, he has no intention of regretting doing it again. So, you'd think Beerus is about to destroy Frieza here with this seemingly small Hakai, but he doesn't get the chance. Goku attacks and kicks at his full power Super Saiyan 3. His power right now is on leagues with base form Battle of Gods Goku in Super Saiyan 3 before, the ritual and everything. That's where he's at this point in the story. So this attack hurts Beerus. And Frieza, he cannot believe it. Not only did Goku just attack the destroyer of this universe that he even would never do, but he did it so fast. It was so instant. And this infuriates Beerus, which Frieza all too well expected. And there's no way to tell Goku to stop now. And Beerus just hides his anger, even though it's plainly obvious, with aura sparking and disintegrating small parts of the planet and the area around. And he flies straight towards Goku and says, "You just made the biggest mistake of your life, mortal. You might be a Saiyan, but that attack actually hurt. Unfortunately for you, you kicked the wrong person." But he then holsters himself up into a fighting stance as a reward for actually hurting me and showing you're no ordinary Saiyan. You'll get to see a little bit of my power and see what a true kick feels like. He then goes to 10% of his power right then, delivers a kick which sends Goku not only flying way beyond the perimeter of King Kai's world, but pretty much right near King Yama's palace, all the way past Snake Way, all the way past King Yama's palace. This is a very serious 10% kick from Beerus, and we could full on expect this to be the case. And Frieza, he just says screw it at this point. Transforms from full power to fifth form in a second, and then filters himself to golden within another second. So he just goes through all of his forms in the manner of a few seconds. But Beerus, he cannot believe that Frieza's power, he knew that he was weak. He was nowhere near his level all those years ago. But he just cycled through all these new forms and everything. In the original, he was not impressed at all, bar maybe a little bit in Resurrection F. Here, this would actually bother him, because Golden Frieza in this time is leagues ahead of true Golden Frieza in the Tournament of Power. So this actually scares him. But Frieza powers himself to go rush forward and attack, but Beerus says to stop, and that he's seen enough. And Goku has then flown back and is very injured from that kick, but is flown back, but is very injured and is in base form. But Beerus says he's not going to kill them. And Frieza, he'll spare his life, because he never would have expected the Emperor of the Universe to not only become so strong as to actually surprise him, but team with these Saiyans, and one of them actually grew so strong to actually hurt him. So, if they get the Super Saiyan God, he'll spare all of them, and they can train with him. But if not, he's going to show what no mercy truly feels like. So they go to Earth, and Whis informs Beerus on their way there of all the Saiyans and everything that's happened, and that he meant to tell Beerus, but he figured why not go to North Kai's and sort that stuff out first. When they get there, Saiyan galore. First, Beerus, I feel, might have an interaction with Bardock, considering Bardock was the final one to rebel against Frieza on planet Vegeta. So I feel that they would have an interesting reaction. And who wouldn't want to see Bardock and Beerus interact? It's something that I really feel would have been made for a very in-depth and, sort of like a King Vegeta kind of vibe-ish feel, since Beerus knew King Vegeta. And then Beerus talks to Vegeta himself and figures out what he's been up to, as well as all the other Saiyans. And then Beerus meets the Guardian of Earth, Kami. And yeah, although Beerus and Piccolo had no interactions whatsoever, Piccolo just, helped fight Beerus. Kami, however, would recognize Beerus as, you know, the highest level of deity that he could have ever imagined, and truly respects him, and would be much unlike Piccolo, and shows no intention of ever fighting him ever, and puts himself out there as a deity himself and the guardian of this planet. And Beerus would have to hand a little bit of respect towards that. A Namekian as the guardian of a planet. Nice. Soon enough, they celebrate Bulma's birthday party, and Boo is there, and they start to get into a little incident about the pudding. And Frieza and Kami know what's going to happen. And since Kami and Frieza and so many other people are there, they're not going to fight here. Nothing big is going to happen. Beerus is just getting slightly irritated since, they force Boo to give the pudding, basically. So Beerus gets his pudding, and even if he didn't, and Kami and Frieza and everyone were able to calm him down and everything, Beerus says, regardless, he wants the Super Saiyan God, and he wants it now. Otherwise, it's all done. He's done. The planet's destroyed. Everybody dies. So, Shenron is summoned, and we find out the ritual for the Super Saiyan God. And Videl is actually going to hide her pregnancy. Because if it wasn't plainly obvious among every sense of the word, we have way more than enough Saiyans, but way, way, way more than you might think. We have a total of 12 Saiyans. Bardock, Raditz, Gine, Borgos, Fasha, Shugesh, Tora, Kid Trunks, Goten, Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku. So this means we have enough Saiyans for not one, but 2 rituals. And everybody knows this, and everybody notices this. So, we get 2 Super Saiyan gods. And who is that out of the 12 here? Goku and Gohan. I mean, it should have been obvious. It could have been Vegeta, but hey, Goku and Gohan, because we gotta give Gohan something in the story, and he's gonna be slowly picked up here too. And this is the perfect moment to actually make a true father and son Super Saiyan God tag team effort against the God of Destruction. And Beerus is actually forced to use near his full power, 70%, almost right off the bat. And Whis, this fight is so universally epic. You thought Goku and Beerus' fight in canon almost broke the universe? Whis has to literally create a barrier around the universe and a shield of protection around it just to stop it from collapsing, because that's how strong this Goku and Gohan and Beerus all are. They almost break the freaking universe. And Goku and Gohan are forced back to their base forms, but they don't grow weaker. The god powers infused within them. And at this point, Beerus has to use pretty much his full power. And Gohan uses his ultimate form and Goku Super Saiyan. And by this point, Beerus, actually, I'm going to give Beerus a new technique. Something taken from the games, but something I feel that really fits here. 2 huge spheres of destruction. And he actually almost breaks his limits with 100%, but is pretty much right at the boundary of 100%. And at the end of it all, Gohan and Goku can't fight anymore, but they know they've given Beerus way more than a run for his money and could still go. But Beerus says he's way more than sure. These 2, divided or together, are truly worthy of his attention, rivalry, and training. So, he's pleased and says he's done. And they have definitely appeased him to the fullest extent. Everybody lives, and as long as they train under him, give him good food, and that Frieza remains behaved and continues to train these monkeys alongside himself, because Beerus is still interested in Frieza, he'll spare them all. So, that's it. They go to Beerus's planet. Goku, Vegeta, Bardock and his team, Raditz, and Gohan all go to Beerus's world. Goku and Gohan unlock Blue almost instantly and almost break beyond it. But Gohan would be a Mystic Super Saiyan Blue, which I've touched upon before. Vegeta, he would get Super Saiyan Blue and would be right, I feel, on the cusp of Blue Evolution, except it would still be a minute because, again, everybody's stronger here, so this isn't unreasonable to say this. Bardock would get Super Saiyan God and would right be able to unlock Blue, yet not maximized enough to use it to any form of degree. Raditz would unlock Super Saiyan God. And as for all of Bardock's crew, they would still be going through Super Saiyan, barely getting on the cusp of God Ki, but they would be, they would be there along with possibly Gine, just to train with Bardock with his powers. So they're very close to getting close to like a form of God Ki, but yet nowhere near Super Saiyan God, so we ain't getting that. Not yet. Frieza maximizes his 100% golden power and is right on the cusp of unlocking a new form, Golden Fifth Form. But he ain't there yet. So I guess you guys are probably all asking, does this actually mean we skip arcs? Because what happens to Resurrection F since Frieza's good here and he's not evil like the Majin part and, he's alive? So, do we even get a Resurrection F? Or what takes its place? Do we skip to the Universe 6 and 7 tournament? Well, no. We get something different. We're getting Resurrection Cooler. Now, I bet you guys are probably, wait a minute. How in the world do we get a Resurrection Cooler if no one's there to resurrect him? All of Cooler's army, the 3rd Stellar Region, all of Cooler's force, they're all dead. Unless Berry Blue and, Kikino and all those soldiers, are they going to resurrect him? Or are they dead too? They're pretty much all dead, so how could he get resurrected? Well, it all has to do in a wasteland on Earth. A destroyed wasteland, which once held an army's ship. A ship's army. And a homogenized force with Cooler at the helm. In that wasteland, a spirit awakens from a long slumber thought to be dead, but he survives out of the rubble. Very slow crackling, a figure bursts out of the rubble. It's Nyes, who was thought to have been killed by Piccolo, but the Majin power and his own head movements and everything, his head retractions, his Majin power, and the fact that him and Piccolo were kind of near the same power, this actually saved his life. Yet, for years, he thought he was dead. But no, he's alive. And being the only Cooler Frieza King Cold Forceman left at all, he knows exactly what to do. Will Nyes be able to resurrect Cooler successfully? Or is this resurrection Cooler very much so an understatement for that it will really not happen at all? And if he does get resurrected, will Cooler become strong enough to defeat these insanely powerful people of Beerus' planet? And how will it go towards the ending phases of the Frieza Turning Good story? Find out in part 13.